Good morning, everybody. It is January 13th, 2021 at 8:09 a.m. Wow, I managed to do that without looking at my watch this morning. Isn't that amazing? All right, so this is a Wake Up Sobriety check-in. My name is Justin Bowman. This is my addiction ministry at my home, the St. Peterschule. And so here's what happened yesterday. I made a great pea soup. Oh, hold on, let me just plug this in. Oh, see, that was making me feel irritable right then. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I made a great pea soup yesterday, ham and split pea soup. Fantastic. I ate a few helpings of that. I felt tired again, so I laid down on the couch to watch. I put on YouTube. I was watching some YouTube stuff, actually, and I mentioned that in the prayer video. And then I did what I said after the prayer video. You know, I felt so tired that I didn't want to miss prayer. I was like, let's go ahead, let's get up and do evening prayer now at 2:30, so that way I get it done. You know, so that way we pray, and that way I don't miss it, and then I can go back to sleep if I need to, because I felt really fatigued. And after that, I laid back down on the couch. I had some more split pea soup afterward. And I laid back down on the couch. I felt really tired, like that kind of like that tired you get after, like after you eat a whole bunch of cake or ice cream like that. Sugar makes you tired a little bit. So not a little bit, like, but can give you that, like you need to take a nap, like that sort of thing. I got that, and I laid on the couch for several hours. And then about at 8:30, 8 o'clock, I said, all right, I got to get up and I got to clean the crock pot and I got to put the soup away. Because I only had a few things that, you know, it wasn't overwhelming. I didn't want it to build up. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I didn't want to get up and have in the morning again and have a kitchen to clean in the morning and stuff. So I did that, and I brushed my teeth and I said my active contrition before I went to bed. And I did a little bit of reading, and then I turned in. You know, around 11 o'clock or so, something like that, 10:30, 11. And then I woke up this morning, and I didn't want to get out of bed. My muscles still ache. My legs still ache. I have a little bit of pain in my feet. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I generally do is get on my knees and just and say a quick prayer in front of the crucifix in my bedroom. I had trouble getting up. You know what I mean? Like almost like that. Like if I were to get down on my knees like right now, I have to do it like you know what I mean? It kind of, I feel like I'm like 80 or something like that. So that's part of these symptoms anyway. So I mean, honestly, I'm feeling a little bit better now that I got up and about, but I didn't want to get out of bed. It was worse yesterday. Worse, or the day before, I think it was, because it wasn't too bad yesterday with blood work. That was all right. But the day before was pretty bad, and today's not great. I'm so glad that I went in there and got that blood work done, and so that way I'm going to find out for sure. I feel like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like my part is done. I'm waiting on the doctor now, which is great. I'm glad that I did that, and I'm not just dragging my feet. I mean, I did kind of put that off for a while. So, so now we're going to get some results on that. I read a little bit about Benedict Rochelle last night, who I did not really know a lot about. And I did want to say that I sort of misspoke, really. I mean, he wasn't, in my rosary video, I mentioned that I didn't say he was controversial, but I think that my impression of him was that he fit well within Orthodoxy. Definitely. And I sort of knew that too, but I thought he had also a little bit of, he's kind of, you know, quirky, I think is what I meant by that. I wasn't trying to say that he was, I definitely was not trying to say that he was standing in opposition to the Catholic Church in any way, at all. I didn't mean to say that whatsoever. Even then, even though I've read about him and I understand more about him. But anyway, I want to say that I, you know, am blessed and honored to live in the world where we have the great example of saints like Benedict Rochelle. Now I know Benedict is not a. I know he's not a Catholic canonized saint. I don't mean it like that. I mean it in the community of saints that are the people of faith, the body of Christ, the people that are really doing their best to live out their faith, the saints in the church triumphant, or militant. Sorry, that's what. Well, now he's triumphant, but it's such an, we are blessed to have such amazing people on this planet with us that walk along, the path of life, and he's one of them. He's one of them. I'm very inspired. I do want to read a couple of his books and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a lot on my plate, but that's definitely something that God put him in front of my vision to take a look for a reason, and so yeah, I mean, maybe because we both like to be on the camera, I guess. I don't know. I'm not trying to compare myself to Benedict Rochelle, but in a way I sort of am, in the way that we both like to do our ministry, out in the publicly, except he had a lot more viewers. I don't, I have I'm lucky if anybody's watching this, but you don't know who is going to be someday. So I'm prepared to, but I do this mainly for me, because this is what I'm called to do, and hopefully God, brings people that can be helped to, that I can be an example to, and that's why I posted, for Benedict Rochelle. That's why I posted the Wikipedia selection in the Wikipedia article that I did right next to the opening where his name is, because he says, I can't do it. It's on the iPad. That he had a stroke, and he came back to TV quickly, and you could tell that he was affected by the stroke a little bit. But he said that he wanted to hurry back, because if there was a viewer out there that was suffering with the same thing, or some sort of similar malady, you know what I mean, like some trials and tribulations of having, of old age and stroke and all that kind of stuff, where it's difficult. He said that he wanted to, tell them to keep fighting, not to give up, and be an example for that person. And I was like, I think that makes sense to me. That kind of rings true to me, doesn't it? That's what I'm trying to do right now for addicts. Absolutely, is that I'm trying to, even if I relapse, even if I'm embarrassed and I don't want to come on or something, to come on and say, hey, I did do it. Don't worry. Keep fighting. Keep praying. Keep seeking Christ. That's the message. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with this. Exactly what I'm trying to do with this. And there's, I don't know how many other people are out there doing that. I don't know. I hope maybe a lot, and I think that's great. But that's what I've got to do too. So, yeah. So for people like Benedict Rochelle, blessed to live on the same planet together, around, our paths crossing. What am I trying to say right now? My Lord. But, our lives, the timeline of our lives, at least intersecting in some way. So that's cool. I hope I feel, I hope I feel better today. I don't really know what's going on with this. I don't know what I can eat safely besides vegetables. And even then, I've even had some I got some, just to be candid, I got the shits from some vegetables, some French green beans. This was a couple weeks ago. This is actually it was the day that I relapsed. It was Christmas Day. All right. That I ate these green beans and I kept getting, I have to go to the bathroom right after and had loose stool. But I think that was from vegetables that I got from Smart and Final. I think that, I've mentioned about their selection is not the greatest, and I don't think that was I think that it was from some contamination there. But still, the fact remains that sometimes I just don't know what I can eat safely. And sometimes I can eat bread and I have no problems with it, and other times I eat bread and then I have these symptoms that I'm having right now. Now, granted, I did eat a lot of pea soup yesterday because it was good, but I just, man, It's health challenges are not great. But it could be a lot worse. I'm going to be honest with you that. I mean, I've seen people have, I'm at a stage now, even if I do have some kind of diabetes or whatever, I think it's probably at the stage where if I make the changes, I'll be okay and don't have to take insulin. So that's good. That's good. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining too much on it, but at the same time, it is what it is, and it is kind of, it's unpleasant and it's unscary and it's not comfortable. Um, but again, it's at a, it looks to me like it's at a stage where I can still do something about it once I find out what the hell it is. So, what else is there? Nothing really, nothing much else. I haven't had any temptations to do drugs. I got a weird call last night. That was kind of strange that I just hung up on. Some guy, he sounded like some, like the, the type of guy that, when I was going to drugs that I would probably like, you know, give too much attention to. Let's put it that way. In the bad way. I mean, everybody's worthy of it. I'm not trying to say somebody's worthless or something, but what I'm trying to say is like, bad news kind of a guy, and he's like, yeah, this number's in my phone, and I'm just trying to see who this is, and I just hung up, and I was just like, yeah, I don't need that. He woke me from a sound sleep on the couch, whoever it was, and I just let that go, I mean, God only knows who that was. And I don't think it was, honestly, it was nobody that I've given my number to since I've had that number. I know that. I haven't given my number really to anybody. So, I mean, I haven't, it'd be one thing if it was my number before that, but this number that I have, Anyway, though, so, other than that, that's the closest, in the past several days, I haven't had any temptations as far as drugs go, or alcohol, really, which has been good. I mean, I know I am probably going to drink again, but hopefully, when I do, hopefully it's in a, an environment that is less likely to lead to a problem, even though I don't really control whether it goes to a problem or not. You know what I mean? That's up to God, honestly, and it's up to God whether or not I drink. And what I'm trying to say is that I have the same even though now I have an official policy of no drinking. The reality is no different than it was before. I was trying not to drink before. I just didn't have a stated policy against it, which makes really you see how that makes no difference, really? I mean, maybe it does for other people. I'm not saying some people can have a policy and then God lets them have it and it's fine. I'm saying in my case, I was avoiding making a policy before because I knew that making a policy really would make no difference. So, but maybe God will indulge me on this. Maybe God, who knows? I mean, my point is that I was trying not to drink before, and the only reason I didn't make a policy of it so that way I wouldn't be constantly, when I say constantly, meaning occasionally, which is constantly when you have a policy of none. Okay, you know what I mean? If you have a policy of I don't drink at all, no alcohol's allowed, you drink once a month, that's constantly breaking it, even though it's occasionally. So, in order to save my face, honestly, on that, and not look like a fool, I was like, I'm not gonna have a policy of no drinking because I know that's gonna but hey, but people are gonna say to me, well, if you didn't try absolutely no drinking, you're not trying it, so I have to officially do that. I have to do that. But you see, I hope you now see kind of where my thinking's at and where my experience is at on that. And so, it's very likely that alcohol is going to happen again. You know what I mean? It is. We just have to hope that it happens safely, and then it's not a problem, and that, you know what I mean? And the best way I can think of that, honestly, is me drinking when I go out to a doctor's appointment or something like that for lunch, or something like, get a beer at a restaurant. That is probably the most safe kind of drink. I mean, not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. You can't, you know what I mean? Nothing's guaranteed. For a guy like me, I should say. Because some people, they don't just suddenly go do meth. But I get the urge to go suddenly do meth. I was reading the Bible the other night. All right, 4 nights ago, whatever the hell that was. I was sober as a judge. I was reading a commentary on Isaiah on the couch with a cup of tea, and I got this overwhelming urge out of nowhere that I could not say no to go to try to do dope. Sober as a judge. And sometimes that happens sometimes it happens while I'm drinking too. So, Anyway, though, and that one I was able to avert, which is good. Or the Lord averted it for me, is what I really should say, because I didn't do crap on that. I mean, you kind of just hope for the best and do what you can do to maximize the chances of staying sober. I did everything I was allowed to do. I was allowed to block them. I did. You know what I mean? I got in the shower. I just started preparing for bed and stuff after that, and that was that. Anyway, so I do have some vegetables today. I'm going to make some veggies. They're from Smart and Final, so I got to make them quick. I'm going to steam those. I might even do it for breakfast, to tell you the truth. I got split pea soup. You have that for lunch, I suppose. I have fruits. I've got, so I'm just thinking of my food today, what I'm going to, eat, kind of plan that out a little bit. I still have shepherd's pie left over a little bit, not too much. Not too much. We can do that. So between the shepherd's pie and the vegetables and the split pea soup, we should be all right for today. And then I can take out some chicken for tomorrow to make for tomorrow. Actually, that would be a great idea. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do that right now. Some frozen, boneless, skinless chicken breast. I just want to say again, the split pea soup came out so well. I'll be honest with you, I've never made a split pea soup before in my life. I've always wanted to. I never made balsamic chicken before. Now I do have some kitchen skills, so that's why I was able to do this. You know what I mean? Comfortably, like I've never done this before. Let's try it out, but it's not like so far away from anything I've just never. You know what I mean? I've used all those ingredients before and things. I've just never combined them in that way. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. So that's why it looks kind of like I've sort of done it before, even though I haven't and I've comfortably done it. But that's why, just for anyone that doesn't cook and is getting started, don't worry. You know what I mean? Like, that's the cool thing about cooking. You develop a little bit of a repertoire. Then new recipes, you may have never done something before, but you have an inkling of how to do it because you've done things like it. So that's cool. So we have that for tomorrow. Waking up with some chai. All right. Let's go ahead and pray the psalm. And then we'll do a reading from the sayings of the Desert Fathers. Psalm 59, a prayer for safety. Rescue me, God, from my foes. Protect me from those who attack me. O rescue me from those who do evil, and save me from bloodthirsty enemies. See, they lie in wait for my life, the powerful band together against me. For no offense, no sin of mine, Lord. For no guilt of mine, they rush to take their stand. Awake, come to my aid, and see, Lord of hosts, you are Israel's God. Rouse yourself and punish the nations. Show no mercy to evil traitors. Each evening they come back like dogs. They howl and roam about the city. They prowl in search of food. They snarl till they have their fill. See how they gabble open-mouthed. Their lips are filled with insults. For who, they say, will hear us? But you, Lord, will laugh them to scorn. You make light of all the nations. O my strength, it is you to whom I turn. For you, O God, are my stronghold, the God who shows me love. O God, come to my aid, and let me look in triumph on my foes. Kill them, God, kill them, lest my people be seduced. Rout them by your prayer, lay them low. It is you, O Lord, who are our shield. For the sins of their mouths and their lips, for the curses and lies that they speak, let them be caught in their pride. Destroy them, Lord, in your anger. Destroy them till they are no more. Let the world know that you are the ruler over Jacob and the ends of the earth. Each evening they come back like dogs. They howl and roam about the city. They prowl in search of food. They snarl till they have their fill. As for me, I will sing of your strength, and each morning acclaim your love. For you have been my stronghold, a refuge in the day of my distress. O my strength, it is you to whom I turn. For you, O God, are my stronghold, the God who shows me love. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen. You know, when I was thinner and when I didn't have this body pain, I could bend lower. I'm just making that observation. You know, I definitely need to lose a few. I definitely want to get back down to like 135, 140. That's my ideal weight. I like that weight. And you can do some exercises. All right. Sayings of the Desert Fathers, page 60, Eucharistus the Secular. Two fathers asked God to reveal to them how far they had advanced. A voice came which said, in a certain village in Egypt there was a man called Eucharistus, and his wife who was called Mary. You have not yet reached their degree of virtue. The two men set out and went to the village. Having inquired, they found his house and his wife. They said to her, where is your husband? She replied, he is a shepherd and is feeding the sheep. Then she made them come into the house. When evening came, Eucharistus returned with the sheep. Seeing the old men, he set the table and brought water to wash their feet. The old men said to him, we shall not eat anything until you have told us about your way of life. Eucharistus replied with humility, I am a shepherd, and this is my wife. The old men insisted, but he did not want to say more. Then they said, God has sent us to you. At these words, Eucharistus was afraid and said, here are these sheep. We receive them from our parents, and if by God's help we make a little profit, we divide it into 3 parts, one for the poor, the second for hospitality, and the third for our personal needs. Since I married my wife, we have not had intercourse with one another, for she is a virgin. We each live alone. At night we wear hair shirts and our ordinary clothes by day. No one has known of this till now. At these words, they were filled with admiration and went away, giving glory to God. A hair shirt, by the way, if you don't know, if this is the same hair shirt that I know, there's a discipline, an old discipline in Christianity and in other religions too, called mortification of the flesh. And a hair shirt is a shirt that makes you itch. You put it on and it causes discomfort. That's the point. So they put on hair shirts every night. So that way they would not sleep comfortably. Some people whip themselves. Like flagellate, auto-flagellation or self-flagellation or whatever. Now, oftentimes, like today, we look at these things as being kind of like, it's not healthy to abuse yourself. Like cutters. You know what I mean? That's mortification of the flesh, whether it be done, under the guise of religion or not. I'm not saying that it totally is. I mean, it sort of depends. I mean, depends on, I'm not gonna touch it. I don't personally do those things. I mean, I'm not into. But I do believe that the idea served by mortification of the flesh is a credible idea. You know what I mean? Not necessarily all manifestations of it are probably something to go for. But but the idea. I think can be okay. At the same time, I'm thinking, why do you need self-imposed stuff? I mean, there's enough going on in life, really, that I don't know in my life. I don't need to do anything. Honestly, I suffer enough. Like seriously, I mean, even though I'm not saying I plenty of people suffer more than me. I'm just saying I have enough on my plate to not think, you know what? I think I'm gonna get an uncomfortable, you know what I mean, a hair shirt to sleep in and suffer for Christ because like I've had enough nights where I can't sleep comfortably for various reasons, and I've begged God to let me go to sleep. And I'm not talking years ago. I'm talking like within a month or two. Several nights. In fact, up until the time of around Thanksgiving, before that, months. Where I remember I was getting up at like 4 in the morning and stuff like that after having only gotten very little sleep. I was having great days, but my sleep was not well, and I used to beg God, please let me get more sleep. Now I have pain in my body and I get more sleep. So, But what I'm saying is that, but the idea though is fasting. Is not really mortification of the flesh, but it sort of is in a way. It's the same. It's like mortification light. Not indulging. Not indulging the pleasures of the body. Not indulging the comfort of the body. So anyway, that's things. This is today's reading from that. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Of course, God willing, we'll be back here for morning prayer very shortly. It's 8:36 a.m. right now in South San Francisco, California. Godspeed. Thank you for watching me.